All right, this is someone else's image, but I just had another mind freezing experience. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. So, I was looking at the Elvis Blu-ray that I got for Christmas, and I was opening up to get the digital copy code and scan it with the phone camera and open it up. And I saw in there December 31st. I saw it. I read it. 12/31, 2022. I saw it. I saw what I saw on the disc, on the front and on the inside on the paper. Well, then, all of a sudden, I take it in the other room and I say, "Well, it's a good thing I typed the code in. That I was scanning the code." And my parents said, "Why is that?" And I said, "Well, because it was the last date." And then I look on it, all of a sudden, it's September of 2023 when it expires. It changed on me right in front of my eyes. I looked at it as I walked into the room, and the code was today. New Year's Eve, today. But by the time I had walked into the room and I was looking at it, I showed it to them, and the code had changed as I was talking. I look back at it, and I've just when that when that happens, and you see something so prominent, and you not just like, oh, I'm just looking at it wrong. I looked at it just like here. The it was not only, it was, you know how it's on the paper and it's on the front. I saw it on both places the same date, December 31st, 2022. Suddenly it changed, and I thought that's kind of early. Usually they wait till the very next year. Well, suddenly it changed to September 2023. Okay, that's another one of those shifts of things where they just suddenly they change right in front of you. Kind of like when I saw the Depend flip flop and it went back. I'm one of the only people I know of that have witnessed the flip flop of that. I recorded audio on the TV when the commercial said Depends, and I saw it as it was with an S on the end, and then the recording's gone and it changes back. Tidy Cats went to Tidy Cat for a long time and had always been that way suddenly, and I went in the store and just saw no S, and it was so wrong, and suddenly it's back. For me, Cheese Whiz had disappeared completely and never existed. It never existed suddenly. People said, "What are you talking about? There's a Cheese Whiz in a can, but there's no spray can. There's a jar." And there was no history of it. And suddenly there's always history. That's 4 different flip-flops that I've experienced that I can... That's just a few, just to name a few, but... I mean, it's crazy. But Happy New Year to everyone, too, by the way. Yeah, Happy New Year. Hopefully it's better. I hope so. But, yeah, those are just a few things that have happened. When that happens, it's just mind-blowing, but it's one of those things. We wonder whether it's on a quantum level, like a microscopic level, micro-quantum level. Hold on. All right, his phone went off, but cell phone was ringing. I put the loud ringtone on his flip phone so that you couldn't miss it. But anyway, yeah, that's one of those changes. Stay weather aware, stay safe, everyone, too, because it's going to get crazy the next few days, they say. Another interesting thing about that Elvis movie, though, I meant to say was I had a lot of paranormal activity when we were watching the preview of it, and I could feel emotion just from the preview of that Elvis movie. I could feel emotion last May when they advertised it. I could feel the energy. And the era, the energy, the 50s energy, the era and everything just, and 60s, it gave you chills. It gave me chills and just made you emotional. Just like just crying emotional because of what it portrayed that I could feel of what Elvis was going through. And they pretty much killed him. That's the way it was, because the doctor knew not to give him what they gave him, that counteracted with what his manager was giving him. Colonel Parker gave him a shot that made him go on stage when he was sick with the flu, and he died afterwards. The medicine the doctor gave him counteracted that shot, and it overdosed him. And that's what happened. It caused his heart to stop, and they knew it would do that. They knew that was a side effect, but they didn't know, and that caused his heart to stop. But it was in the early stages of study back then. But they should have known not to mix what they mixed. But anyway, Austin Butler actually experienced a medical episode and had to go to the hospital after finishing production of filming this movie. And he said it felt like Elvis's spirit was giving him bowel problems, just like Elvis had, which was one of the side effects and the medical conditions Elvis already had. And he said, I felt like I should have incorporated that into the movie. And he said, right after he thought that, he got those problems, and he got rushed to the hospital because of those issues. But yet they said they found nothing that caused it, and then it went away. And he felt like that was Elvis's spirit, because he had personified Elvis Presley to the point where he acted as the character, to where he became the character. And he said he couldn't turn it off, and it was overwhelming. So it was very interesting. So he couldn't actually get out of character. He got into character to the point where he couldn't get out of character. And it was a lot on him. And he actually felt the spirit of Elvis Presley. That's an interesting story, but also that shift that took place is just right in front of my eyes. That was really crazy. Is it on a quantum level? Is it reality shifting? What's going on? I don't know. Glitches? Who knows? But something's definitely happening. And I saw it right there in front of my eyes. As I've seen, it's even crazier when you see buildings, businesses, and roads and signs and everything that changes, and then people say, it's been that way for me. And you're like, no, it hasn't. They said, yes, it has. All right. Signing out. Happy New Year.